second harvest of what could be Georgia's next big cash crop, hemp.
So it just takes an hour to do 5 plants, maybe 40 minutes. And yeah, but it's enjoyable.
Local students learn the price of war from those willing to pay it.
I think they need to understand that their freedoms aren't free.
And Bachelorette contestant and model Tyler C. comes to town.
We love you, Tyler C.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Tasia Harper. Tonight, sustainability, celebrities, and scandal. Growing hemp in Georgia can land you behind bars. That is, unless you're an academic researcher. When the Georgia Hemp Farming Act went into effect in May 2019, the University of Georgia wasted no time in beginning its research into growing hemp. We join Ashley Soriano live now from the UGA hemp field, where researchers are about to bring in the second hemp harvest. Ashley?
Tasia, UGA researchers were ready. Just 1 month after legislators signed the bill, the researchers were already planting the hemp. What you see behind me is the farm where the hemp is grown. Now, they planted more than 4 dozen varieties of the hemp, and what they found was that the hemp does better in cooler temperatures. But to avoid the cold weather coming up, they're going ahead and harvesting the hemp. Right now, only researchers can plant industrial hemp, but what the UGA researchers are hoping to do is part of UGA's long history as an agricultural leader. What they hope to do is study the process so that when it does become legal in Georgia, farmers may be able to plant the hemp as well. It's legal in other states already.
I just stand out here and listen to audiobooks and strip hemp.
While Thomas Bagby, a researcher at the University of Georgia, enjoys his job, it's not easy.
I'm just sitting over a bin, grabbing this and stripping off the flower on it. It takes an hour to do 5 plants, maybe 40 minutes. And yeah, but it's enjoyable.
Hemp is the fiber of the cannabis plant, and industrial hemp is just that. Hemp sold for commercial purposes. You find it in rope, clothing, paper, and more. I'm here at the University of Georgia hemp field where researchers at UGA are conducting a trial run. They're collecting data on these plants for industrial purposes. Tim Coulong is the main researcher. Growing hemp is new to him.
It's been interesting. I've been working on vegetables since I was in grad school 20 years ago, and so learning a new crop, developing information. We haven't grown this crop legally for 70 odd years, and so being able to contribute to the literature in that way has been very kind of fulfilling for me.
And the goal of all of this?
I just treat it just like any other crop. And so that's kind of what most of the larger farmers I've spoken to are also just looking at this as another crop that they might utilize to increase revenue.
First, the harvest. Coulong said the process takes hundreds of hours. At UGA, the plant is dried out, stripped, weighed, and then composted. For farmers, the plant would go to a processor to be refined and purified.
I tell people that I grow CBD for the state of Georgia.
That's a good question, Tasia. The hemp that UGA farmers are growing does not alter the mind.
Farmers avoid this.
They take samples every week to test for THC levels, and if it approaches the 0.3% level of THC, they go ahead and harvest the hemp.
And would Georgia be the first to legalize hemp farming?
Quite the opposite, Tasia. Right now, Georgia is a step behind other states. Kentucky and North Carolina are a few examples that have already permitted farmers to grow industrial hemp. But Georgia farmers are hoping that the Department of Agriculture will take some steps so that they're able to grow hemp in the spring 2020 season. I'm Ashley Soriano, live in Watkinsville. Back to you, Tasia.
Thanks, Ashley. With the number of recent shootings in the United States, people who work in public areas can feel unsafe. Grady Newsource reporter Francisco Guzman shows you what one county is doing to protect their employees.
There's been times when, when people come in that make us feel very uneasy.
So uneasy, Barrow County Commissioners decided to enhance courthouse security.
This is actually part of a broader security enhancement initiative that actually started back last year in March of 2018.
Enhancements include electronic door lock in the finance office, panic buttons throughout the courthouse, and the ballistic security glass panels in the tax commissioner's office.
Unfortunately, you hear a lot of stories throughout the country where things go poorly, things go bad because of perhaps lack of security.
Lack of security and a frustrated customer made for a bad day for one clerk.
We had a customer who didn't like the answer they got it was about a tag, and swung at my clerk before we had any glass, So yeah, I think it's gonna make everybody feel safer.
The $60,000 project will be funded by general funds, which come from property taxes. With Grady Newsource, I'm Francisco Guzman.
Justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Those words from Dr. Martin Luther King may hold special significance in the area. Tonight, there's a forum at the Athens-Clarke County Library that will take a look at criminal justice reform. The public is invited to hear from 6 panelists, including judges and criminal justice experts. The forum stems from the efforts of the Georgia Institute for Transitional Justice. The organization filed an open records request and found that African American men are disproportionately represented across different criminal justice systems in Athens-Clarke County. According to the research, on average, Black men have higher bond amounts, longer sentences, and higher average number of charges than any other race.
The real issue here in town is that while poverty plays a factor, historic discrimination and biases, both explicit and implicit, have just led to this vicious cycle that has been, whether it's been housing, wages, jobs, getting people involved in the criminal justice system in the first place, that's going to impact children and their children. It's going to impact neighborhoods. And so this is what I mean by once the system gets going and there's bias in the system, you don't need biased people anymore moving forward.
The forum will start at 6:30 at the Athens-Clarke County Library Auditorium on Baxter Street.
Thank you, Tasia. UGA Police, the Athens-Clarke Fire Department, and the Council on Alcohol and Drugs will be coming together to host an event on November 19th from 2 to 4 p.m. at 40 Watt Club. This event will be discussing how local alcohol vendors can better and more responsibly serve and sell alcohol to their patrons. This event is free to all alcohol license holders and their employees. The 3 main talking points for this event are 1, overcrowding of these establishments, which is an issue because it's a fire hazard. 2, how these establishments can identify and recognize fake IDs. And 3, a discussion on Michael's Law, which states that anyone working in an establishment that serves alcohol must be at least 21 years of age or older to serve. Attendance certificates will be handed out at the conclusion of this event. Back to you, Tasia.
Just moments ago at 5 p.m. today, the mayoral election results were certified by the Oconee County Board of Elections. The Watkinsville mayoral race was neck and neck, with challenger Bob Smith defeating the incumbent Dave Sheeran by a margin of 402 to 400 votes. The loser, Dave Sheeran, has 48 hours to recount of the votes. The Athens-Clarke County SPLOST was approved yesterday with 78% voting yes to the proposal that will fund an estimated $314 million worth of projects in the county with an additional 1% sales tax. The brunch bills were also approved yesterday by over 20 areas in Georgia, including Watkinsville. These bills would ease restrictions on alcohol sales before 12:30 on Sundays. The residents of Morrow and Clayton County have been the only ones to reject the bill so far. This afternoon, a star from the show, The Bachelorette, made a visit to the University of Georgia, and several students got to grab lunch with him. Grady Newsource reporter Caroline Greger shows us the excitement surrounding his appearance in Athens.
I woke up at like 8 a.m. this morning and I checked my email and it was like, congratulations. And I've never won anything like in my life, and I literally just sat there and was like, you're kidding.
People could enter a contest to grab lunch with Tyler Cameron through the Bumble dating app. 5 winners were chosen this morning, and each could bring a guest, and they could barely contain their excitement.
And then I called my roommate, and she was like, okay, I'm taking off work. We're going. We have to. We were so excited.
I need to be ready in 30 minutes. I sprinted home and got my hair done, started my makeup, and now we're just choosing an outfit, which is the best part.
Tyler Cameron was looking forward to the afternoon as well.
I'm very excited to meet the contest winners. We'll have a great time. I'm glad I get to share this experience with them.
The winners met up with Tyler Cameron in downtown Athens at 12:45, where they would then go to 2 popular downtown restaurants.
So we're gonna hit the place. Okay. So the place is a well-known Southern comfort food here, so I'm excited to eat that. Ever since I flew into Atlanta, I was like, man, I gotta get some fried chicken in me. So excited for that. Then we're going to the National, which is like a Mediterranean style restaurant, and very excited to go to that place. Big fan of that food, and it'll be a good time.
But to the winners, their excitement was about Tyler, not the food.
We love you, Tyler C.
Caroline Greger, Grady Newsource.
Along with the contest winners, students were also able to meet the reality TV star at the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity house earlier today.
Fire,
yep.
Stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
I love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
In a rural county, people often don't have easy access to entertainment such as a skating rink, a movie theater, or even a downtown. Grady Newsource reporter Alex Rios introduces you to a local farmer who goes out of his way to make sure kids have more opportunities for fun and learning.
For the past 3 years in Madison County, kids show up here at Dancing Tree Farms.
There's not as much offered to students in a rural community.
Thank you. They come every Sunday with a horse or without one to practice for the 4-H Cowboys and the Angels equestrian drill team.
They are able to not only enjoy it so much, but able to learn and pass on those skills to other people in the community, which was sort of why 4-H was invented in the first place.
Scott Hawks and his wife coordinate with Madison County 4-H to share their expertise and their land to help kids find perhaps their passion and make a new friend along the way.
Keeping care on a horse is crazy.
You're basically taking care of another person. I mean, they just like us, got to be fed, got to be watered. You have to clean up after them. You've got to make sure that that they're not sick. So and it helps them to learn and to take care of something and to gain responsibility. When they're out here on this, it's just them and a 1,200-pound animal.
The Dancing Tree Farm's owners are dedicated to the 4-H program and will let kids borrow their animals if they are horseless.
I love it. They're both great. I think they are very different, and that's needed in a team full of very diverse children with different personalities. And one coach is a little softer than the other coach, and one coach is, you can get in there, get in there.
Some kids are here to have fun, but others enjoy the heat.
I love the competition. That's my favorite part. I've been in other competitions, but nothing compares to this. Just the adrenaline of getting your timing and spacing right.
Alexandra Rios, Grady Newsource.
Scott hopes 4-H members who are a part of the equestrian drill team are learning and will do well in their upcoming competitions.
Hello.
Hi. I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you, and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that,
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit savethefood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign. Those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
So it's been a little over a week since the NCAA officially voted to allow athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness. But what they really did when they voted on that decision is basically just one big cliffhanger. But one thing's for sure, when you're talking about athletes, images, and advertising, you're talking about some real money, even though everything else is still pretty unclear.
They don't actually have a defined rule set yet.
Down, there's really just two things that we know for sure. The first is that things are changing. Whether you love it, you hate it, you tweet every 5 seconds about it, it doesn't really matter because you've got 14 months to learn to live with it. And the second thing is that there's a lot of cash out there. Take a look at some of the numbers that athletes reportedly brought home last year in endorsements alone. According to Forbes, Roger Federer, $64 million, LeBron James, $52, Ronaldo, $47, Steph Curry, $42, and the list goes on. So granted, I'm not trying to convince you guys that Jake Fromm has the exact same star power as Russell Wilson right now. I don't think that he does. But the point is that the money is out there and the advertising is worth something. NCAA players have never been an option for advertisers to utilize to endorse products without risking a Todd Gurley situation. But sports econ professor Dr. Chris McWhite says that the way a free market usually works is that the money flows towards whoever's providing the service. And technically, that's not Kirby Smart.
He can run up and down and he's entertaining on the sideline, but at the end of the day, he might make the whole thing function. But you're still watching Jake Fromm out there.
But that's always been the case, hasn't it? So why now? McWhite feels strongly that after California's vote, they were backed into a corner.
But the main thing is that I think the NCAA is trying to get ahead of all these state laws because they don't want to give up control they currently have over the players.
Kirby Smart said in a press conference last week that so long as everything is equal across the states, he's okay with whatever happens. So at least that's one less question that we all have to worry about. Kat Hendrick, Grady Newsource.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ache than never. To learn more, visit savethefood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
And now, the weather.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Rios, and this is Grady Newsource. I'm telling you tonight that it will rain. It will rain at 100% chance of rain. It's going to be cold. It's going to be raining. You want to make sure that you are prepared for this weather because it will not cool down any tonight nor tomorrow. Well, tonight we have the 6 p.m. at 62, at 9 p.m. at 59, and midnight we'll have at 57. It's going to be super cold, and you're going to want to be prepared because tomorrow it's going to be, again, it's going to be around the same temperature, except that instead of it raining, there's a 20% chance that it will rain. You want to make sure that you're prepared tonight because what you don't do tonight is going to come tomorrow. So once again, there's a 90% chance of rain, and I'm Alexandra Rios, and this is Grady Newsource.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
A local elementary school are honoring veterans and learning about their services and sacrifices. Reporter Carly Reese tells us about what the school is doing for those who have served.
Students at North Jackson Elementary presented veterans with hand-drawn poppies as a symbol of their gratitude and thanked each veteran for their service.
I think it's important because our veterans in our community need to know that we haven't forgotten them and their service.
Deanna Lankford, a mom of one of the students, served in the Navy for 6 years.
It is just, it's very special. It's a very special day for me.
All 424 students at North Jackson Elementary School honored veterans by attending the event.
So a little bit of what's going on today is that our school is going to provide breakfast for veterans, and they're going to come and we're going to celebrate them today. It's all about them.
At the event, students sang,
And I'm proud to be an American.
Provided veterans with breakfast,
Strawberry jam or honey.
and the JROTC presented the colors. The principal of the school believes that it is important for the students to understand the importance of military service.
I think they need to understand that their freedoms aren't free.
Carly Reese, Grady Newsource.
There are 6 other events at Jackson County Schools, 2 tomorrow and 4 on Monday. If you want to find out more about the Veterans Day events, visit jacksonschoolsgeorgia.org. That's all from Grady Newsource tonight, but the news does not end here. If you want more, visit GradyNewsource.com and don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. I'm Tasia Harper, and have a wonderful night.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait, why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome to our Grady post-show critique for November 7th. It is Thursday, last day. I thought the show went pretty well tonight. There were a couple of missed punches, and there were a couple of things that we didn't get. The shots we didn't get for the sports block, we didn't get those until the very last minute, but we got them in time and we got them on the air. But other than that, I think we did pretty good.
Okay, so pre-recording today was a little bit chaotic. We did have to switch a couple of blocks around. That's perfectly fine. We'd rather we are recording something than nothing. But the only issue with that is when we switch stuff around, please be prepared with whatever it is we're recording first, basically. So we switched. We recorded weather, then we did sports. Then we did block. Out of order. Normally we do sports at that point. The issue was that once we got done recording B block, there were a couple of other things that we needed to record, and they were not proofed yet. They were not approved, and so we just need that sort of stuff prepared if we're going to shoot out of order. That way, we just need everybody to be on the same page for what we're recording when, and we just need somebody to have a plan with that. Let's see here. There were a couple of things on our end that did not go so well today technically. Some of it was just, it happens, and we will work to improve it in the future. Just normal human error. Others, I know we could have used some better communication once we got closer to showtime for stuff that is dead and stuff that's being killed, stuff that's floating. We just need to know that stuff when those decisions are being made, because if we find out afterwards, it might be too late. That is basically everything that I have to say. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. A couple of things went a little bit kaflooey, but it's just something to improve on, and that's why we have the post-show, is just to give you guys feedback on what you guys could improve on and the kinds of communication that would be best for everyone. Okay, I am done. Have a good post-show. A good Thursday night post-show.
Good job. And I think you did have to cover for some miscommunications on our part. And we'll work on those and we'll learn from those. And frankly, if I'm just going to be really honest, it's going to be a little bit like Groundhog Day for y'all, and you know this, because next week there'll be somebody else in this seat. And there are always lessons to be learned. Aaron, I think you did a really super job producing. But some of the tough lessons we learned, we're so grateful that we got everything done out here. We forget that last piece, which is getting all the work to the viewer, really rests on communication here. And sometimes we don't know what that is because, frankly, I think if y'all are like me, you're a little bit in awe of what our production folks do. You just kind of sit back and go, I don't want to say anything because I might mess them up. And it looks pretty complicated. So I'm afraid we're going to have some of that again. But I hope you guys do listen. The beauty of this is when they tell us this stuff, when you guys are in this seat the next week, you guys get the benefit of learning and hearing, I remember that, so that you make a new mistake as opposed to the same one.
And in the future, we had a couple of OTSs today, which is great. It really kind of changes the look of the show a little bit, and I think it makes it look a lot cleaner. We did have some issue with ordering today, but I liked that we had that in there at all. But in the future, I know that sometimes you don't have enough time to get the graphics ideas that you have into our graphics department. So I feel like making OTSs is actually very simple. So if you guys want more OTSs, then there are ways to do that, and it's basically just a transparent PNG. So if you have any questions about that, please come ask. That way we can have some more variety in the show, and that way you guys can make it yourself. It's super fast. I made 3 in the space of about 4 to 5 minutes.
Wow.
So if you guys want to learn how to do that, please come ask, because we really like doing those sorts of complicated things to get some variety into the look of the show. Okay, now I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All righty, our producer with yet another fabulous bow tie.
Thank you. So overall, I was pretty happy with the show today. There were a lot of things we did really right, and things kind of started to fall apart a little little bit near the end, and I'll definitely take a large portion of the blame for that, right? Communication issues, we ended up killing some things, switching some things out, and I just failed to communicate that on my end. However, that being said, we're far enough in the semester that we shouldn't have things getting in right below the wire. You know, we had a couple different packages that just were minutes ahead of the show, and if we're doing that, we can't be focused on the details, and I think that's where we struggled today. An egregious example for me was the election reader. Specifically, right, I mean, we were amending it in the last couple minutes just because we were, right, waiting until the last minute to learn as much as we could before we put it out there. It's journalistic integrity. We were doing the right thing, but because of that, we let the details slip, and our boxes were just out of order, right? It happens. We just need to be more detail focused and take care of the heavy stuff on the front end so we can care about the details on the back end. Besides that, be careful in your scripts. Ashley, we know Ashley's a great writer, but there was an interaction between Tasia and Ashley where Ashley expected to be asked a question, but she hadn't written it out, and that's nothing on you. You don't, you know. Oh, she did, and it just miscommunication.
They went to her instead of going back, instead of double boxing for me to ask the question. And she couldn't see it, so she went ahead and answered it without me never asking it. So, yeah.
Okay. So that's where the
Psychic Friends TV.
Yeah. And then, I mean, besides that, sports block was a little weird to work around. I mean, but you know, we'll get it next time. Next week we'll come back better, and we will educate the public about sports. Great. But besides that, Caroline is a really good package today. It was really cool. It was just, I don't know. I feel like all of us know those screaming, giggling fangirls. We love you, Tyler C. We all know those girls, and it's fun to watch them and be like, haha, look at those girls. Not laughing at them, but laughing with them, right? But yeah, I thought it was a good show. We came in with some very interesting stories. I wish we would have come with a higher percentage of stories. A couple of us, you know, were kind of iffy with what we wanted to write about today. But those who did come in with stories came in with really good stories. And I'm proud of the show we put together. We just a little bit more attention to detail, and we would have had a great show. So, but overall, really good job, guys. I'm happy with what we put out today.
I don't have too much to say other than I feel like, as Professor Cantrell was saying, like we've all become really advanced, so we're able to like have packages already ready and also do like digital pieces on the side. So I saw that a lot with Carly, Ashley, a bunch of people who were just already ready with their packages. So they were able to put stuff out digitally for me, and they also, everyone helped me with Grady Daily. Caroline, you were really good, getting really quick with me with a little Instagram thing, because we knew that was really important for Instagram. And yeah, overall, I just think everyone is a lot faster now, and I think that allows us to put more of a focus on digital. So I was really happy with this week.
Yeah, I was definitely happy with this week as well. I think today what happened with the election reader was, it's definitely right here, but I think what went wrong is when we were changing it, I think they go off of the sheets, and so like, they had the old sheet.
Well, and I made you move that to the top, right? Because that was the what's new, what's now, what's next. But the graphic order we had was based on the way we had written it earlier.
Well, but the thing is in here, it's correct. I think it might have been mispunched, or they were just going off the sheet. So I don't know what happened, but definitely I wish that went smoother. But I do like the look of having boxes in the show. It looks good. I think our stories today were really good. There's a lot of like variety in our stories, and I think that you guys did a really good job at getting your interviews, and I think that like Francisca in particular, it was really good over the shoulder shot of you talking to that lady and just like referencing the actual security measures and showing like what they were. I think Caroline had a great story as well, and Nixon, I really liked your live shot. I really like Ashley's live shot as well. Like at the hemp field, whoever lit you should pay them money because you look great.
The lights were actually flickering before and after.
Yeah, whatever it was, you look great. Well, thank you. No problem. And definitely sounded great. So yeah, I think great week, guys. Let's keep it up.
righty.
I have one more thing.
Go right ahead.
I wanted to apologize to Tasia because I'm not sure what happened with the graphics. Because I had 3 of them.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was recording it, but kind of like I started recording at like 3:15, so I was like, I'm not even gonna like bother.
Yeah.
But
That
I think
might have
was
been
the
on
first one, and
yeah.
then I don't know if they can like change it as I'm talking. So I was just like, whatever.
That might have been on my end because I mean I did put that one first. I put them like I didn't put them all in at the same time, but at least I know the second one I put in like seconds after.
Yeah,
so
even if it was at your end, at the end of the day, Tasia, you're the anchor. It's why you made the big bucks, right? You saw that that wasn't the way it should be. So at the end of the day, no matter what the rest of us have done, even if we're just like goofs.
And then my script changed too because the one where you made with all the names on it, I actually did. You changed it up a little bit.
Killed all those names.
So that's why I was like, it really doesn't even matter. And
yeah. I just want to say sorry about that because I feel like that kind of.
Well, at the end of the day, the reason the anchors make the big bucks is because whatever we may do, whatever we background players are, you know, we are wind beneath the wings, but the anchor, the beautiful thing and the hard thing about being an anchor is you get to ride the crest of everybody's marvelous efforts, but you also, if it's not so marvelous, you have to find a way to make it marvelous because it does begin and end with you. So if you ever do see something, just stop and go, hey, I think this, that, and the other thing.
I had a little bit more.
Sure.
I did want to say, Kat, great job. You know, you were chugging through all day today, and then you seemed so calm, so cool, so collected during your live shot. It was really good. And then besides that, Tara, I'm so sorry. I had you working all day today, and then we didn't end up putting anything on TV just because of my mistake. So I'm sorry about that. But then besides that, we're good. Move on.
All right, kumbaya. So here's the deal. How do we get better, right? How do we keep getting better because we don't have much time left. I have here Tasia. I did mention, and this is for a couple of you, if we're going to have these graphics, and whether we have OTSs or whether we have them in the smart board, we need, you know, graphics are they're shorthand. If I walk with television, we're visual medium. And there's a person who's got lip flap, blah, 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 blah. But if I see a graphic and it has handcuffs and it has a gavel, maybe it's got yellow crime scene tape, this is something about criminal justice, right? So I asked, I think early on the day, I said, hey, for our background, let's have a generic criminal justice graphic. It's just always remember when you're using the smart board or whether you're using the green screen, the chroma, you need a generic shorthand visual messaging. Because what happens is you do great jobs creating a graphic, but then as your journalist and your anchor, your reporter is going into the topic of conversation, we've got this data point behind them, and I'm reading that and I'm not hearing a word she's saying. So we needed that first generic something. Kat, I would have liked to have seen that with you, a visual shorthand that would say we're still talking about the NCAA decision. Rather than when you guys have your first graphics up that have information, I want to read the information, I'm not hearing you. But I am hearing you say something that doesn't have anything to do with the information. So see dog, say dog, okay? Tasia, although I typed your name Rayjag, I think I mean Tasia. Yeah, what was with the docudrama soundbite? The gentleman who, as interesting as he was, how long was that soundbite? 5 minutes, 10?
It was like 30 seconds.
Oh, mercy.
But, so the only thing about this story was that it was so much important stuff, and I didn't want to leave anything out, and so I feel like I know we have to kill our babies, but
doesn't that sound awful?
You
just couldn't do it, could you?
No, because I felt like I would be leaving something out.
Okay, well, I'm going to do it for you next time. That sounds horrible. Look, here's the deal. I like this problem. This problem's easier than bad reporting. It's frustrating, but it's easier. Because at the beginning of the semester, up until a few weeks ago, it was like, What about this? What about that? I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I didn't ask. Oh, what are we going to do? How do we have a product when we have such bad reporting? Now we're at that other end of that mountain. We have such great reporting. Everything you've ever wanted to know about criminal justice, and we're afraid to ask. And Tasia's going to give it every bit. This is where you guys must learn. And this is really hard, where you have to learn, what does the viewer truly need to know? Because what happens if you tell them everything, well, you're abdicating your role as the editor. And I know, a lot of people, the public will sometimes criticize, well, you guys edit things and you slant things. No, what we truly try to do in good faith and with professional training and adhering to a code of ethics is try to say, we value your time, we respect your time. This is the information that you need to know, that you must know, and it's just this. So I love the 6 people that are on this panel. I know 4 of their names. But maybe their friends know their names. We didn't need them all. We did need to know there's a Superior Court judge there. Did need to know that there's a psychologist who's a PhD, who is an expert in criminal justice, because these are things that do tell us things about, this must be something important. If we're going to look at the criminal justice system in Athens, and we're using data points that are vetted, and we have Superior Court judge, and we have a sociologist who's expert in criminal justice, and 4 other people who are here to talk about this in our community. Probably all we need to know. But if you are going to let a guy drone on for 30 minutes, or I'm sorry, that's what it felt like, for 30 seconds, could we not have like holy light on his head? So I don't know what was happening. What happened?
He wanted to stand by the sign that said where the meeting was going to be.
Okay, so let me. You know what? So you guys are at this point. This is really important. You guys, it's so often the little thing. And we don't want to fight with people, right? You want to stand by the side? No, I want you to stand over here. It's hard, right? And we're not trying to cause any trouble, right? But you know what? He's watching himself. He's seeing himself blinded by the light. He's going, oh. And you know what? You're at the other end of that camera. You need to tell him, hey, don't worry. You want to tell me why you want to stand by the sign. Well, I want to make sure you get the other information. You want to get the information on television. Sir, we shall. And with what you're saying, it's going to be compelling. He's an interesting person. We don't want people reading the sign. We want them listening to what you have to say. So trust me, because I don't need to deal with this lighting and make you look bad and distract from the important message. Okay? It's hard. But at the end of the day, this is your story and your responsibility, okay? Again, I will say it's fun to talk about these things as opposed to we didn't get the story. So we didn't kill Alex Rios' story, though we tried. Not because there was anything wrong with it. Poor Alex going, what? We didn't communicate appropriately, and that's a lesson learned. So I would just say, whoever's producing next week, just make sure when we're back there, if you skip something, and we generally skip things in the rundown, we don't just kill because we don't want to get everything out of order. But when we skip things, we probably should tell the person that's punching the cast, because they're punching from the rundown and sometimes from the prompter as well. Couple of you, say something about Kat. Kat seemed like she was just kind of talking to us, didn't she? Neil said something to me. He goes, wow, she really knows her stuff, doesn't she? I said, I don't really know if she does or not. I do know that she writes it like she does. Maybe, I said, she's reading her. He goes, she's reading a prompter? She's not just talking? I said, no. She's reading a prompter. And she may know. I'm not denigrating you. She may know absolutely everything's in there, may not need the prompter. But I promise you every word's in that prompter. And he said, oh, it's like writing it like she talks it. I went, yeah. And it really, really helped me to kind of solidify what I try to say to you guys. And I can tell the difference, those of you that have a lot of heavy print background, because you have a bunch of articles, and you have really long run-on sentences. Look, that's not to say anything bad. It's just how the medium works. You know, I loved nothing more back in the day before y'all were born of sitting a cup of coffee. The Sunday newspaper was this thick, or even delivering newspapers when I was in 6th grade, which was fun. Anyway, and opening that paper and you could read the sentence over and over and over, and it could have like and, you know, a bunch of subordinate clauses, but the world's moved too fast for that. So I would just say, really take a look at how you would say it. And one of the things Kat said to me, she goes, okay, can you look at my script? It's just stream of consciousness. And I said, then just read it to me. And what stream of consciousness really is code for is, I just thought and I wrote and I typed, I talked and I typed while I talked. And I've mentioned that to y'all a couple times, various times, but you know, sometimes we don't hear things because we're hearing a bunch of other stuff. So I would just challenge you all next week. One of the things that I did work with today was some of you guys are getting so much better with narrative storytelling, you know, using your sound bites, weaving from one to the other and telling a story. If you can get that piece of talking the story, you're going to hit a bunch of home runs. Next week, I want you guys to work on those stand-ups. I will, till I'm blue, I will yell about those stand-ups. Just say it. And conversational writing. Write it the way you would see it. And that up to and including any types of speech that are unique to you. And you're going, you mean, you know, it's like today, there was something that I'm kind of creeped out about. I didn't like the headline, celebrities and something and scandal. I didn't like that. I still don't like it. But it is your show. And it's likely people paid attention. And you could, we talked through it, even to looking up the definition of the word, because we must be truthful, we must be honest, we must be accurate. And once we did that, I had no argument. So speech changes. And people like me, you know, I want everyone to still talk like we did when I was young, you know. It's groovy. But y'all aren't feeling that, are you? Because you have other ways that you communicate and that the rest of us understand and that are part of our language and our lexicon. So use them. This is my last pitch for stop being an old person or the journalist you watched when you were 2. Okay? Yes.
Also, so the decision on Tuesday and today to go with, you know, celebrities and scandal and whatever else, sustainability, and then the joke as well, those both went through because I had Tasia as an anchor. If I didn't think you couldn't deliver them, I wouldn't give them to you, right? But I trusted you as an anchor, and you did fantastically, so thank you.
And that's important. That's a big part of producing because, you know, a lot of people have a problem with a newscast being called a show. You know, the term is somehow, you know, ugly. We're bigger than that. We're better than. We're not a show. We're not Hollywood, and we are not. But at the end of the day, we use a captivating visual medium to give people important news and information that helps them in their daily lives. And if they don't pay attention to it, then we haven't succeeded. So as long as it's truthful, accurate, fair, balanced. But you guys know that I beat that dead horse. So I'm really proud of what you're doing. Now, here's where you guys start doing this. Yeah, got this. That's my Barney Fife imitation. Nobody knows who he is. Anyway. So where you can kind of lean back and chill and go, I got this. Don't. I want to see really, I'm going to really dog you on the writing and the narrative storytelling and talking. I'm going to really dog you on stand-ups. I know you've reached the point where you don't care if I dog you because a month from now, you know, you'll never see me again, and that's fine with you. But for the next 30 days, I'm still with you. So, creative stand-ups that sell and tell the story, that make people say, honey, get over here. This story is amazing and it's important. Run it back. Watch it again. This is important. Okay? Be that stand-up. Characters. Watch what you shoot. Carly, your story today, Those kids singing. Oh man, would have loved to have seen, you know, and heard that. Because you can't beat that, right? So think about, you know, your best audio. Caroline, we went back and looked at yours, and, you know, your best audio was, oh, you know. So you guys had some good stories. I think we had a proper balance of entertainment, and people care about that, you know, cultural news and entertainment and food and all that jazz. And, you know, things that are critical to the community. I think you did a nice job at that. So who has like a big aha moment today? Anybody? Anybody want to talk about a trial, trouble, or tribulation they ran into?
Teamwork was really good today. Thank you to Katie and then Peyton, she's not here, for helping me get my SOTs together, and everything dropped when it was coming down to the wire. Couldn't have done it.
Wait, can I just say one thing about teamwork? Today, I was so impressed by Nixon. She went with me and helped me with the cameras and lights at the interview, and it was just so funny because Tyler Cameron just mic'd up. She goes, all right, can you mic check? And he just said a few words. She goes, no, I need you to mic check again. And so he's having to mic check for like a minute straight. And then she checked it, and just she was just very calm and great with everything. So I was very glad to have her with me.
So what Nixon did is she honored her subject. She's like, shh, be quiet, she's talking about me, and it's good. No, Nixon honored her subject today. She said, you know what? He may not like it, and he might even yell at me, and I might be embarrassed because Tyler C's going to yell at me and go, what are you talking about, girl? But I'm going to make it is my responsibility to my colleague and to my audience to make this story the best it can be. And that means, by golly, they need to hear Tyler C.
Yeah, there was like another level of like, oh God, I got to get it right because it wasn't mine. It was Caroline's.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get it
you
right
can't mess
for
up your
Caroline.
colleague.
Right. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, Nixon, I was happy with how, you know, once you had the realization of OMG.
Oh yeah, I had a big one.
So work a little bit on when things go bad, when things go wrong, just remember it's really, it's temporary and we got to get through it. It's here and we get through it. But time is of the essence, seconds matter, and so try to kind of keep it together, and you got it together in time.
I did. I literally at one point I said to you, I was like, I don't even want to be shedding tears right now. They're literally just falling
weird,
out.
Wasn't
It like I literally didn't even want them to be happening, and like I didn't even feel like that sad or anything. I think it was just like complete
sort of an
overwhelmness.
Response where
yeah,
just water comes out. Yeah, I don't even think they're tears anymore.
I was moving on. I was like doing what I needed to do, but I just had to let a few drop. So it.
Well, if you could
had to
happen
happen
so that I don't have to see them, that'd be great.
Well, okay, cool.
No, I think you did it. Look, that was pretty traumatic when I'm going, oh, by the way.
Yeah,
and
I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, you had to do a complete
turn.
Mm-hmm. So, but it did underscore the importance of always having somebody look at your work because you know this. This is basic law. And once I told you, I think your fear was greater that, oh my God, how did I miss this? It makes you lose confidence in yourself.
Because it was just like, I was like, oh gosh, I got it. And then you said what you said, like about it being possible allegations, and I was just like, oh gosh.
And you knew this.
I was like, that's so true.
Yeah,
So
and she knew it. So just always a second set of eyes, guys, because as much as you know, we're humans. Always second set of eyes. But I thought you did a nice job recovering. I really do. Anybody else? Yes.
I think Erin has a real talent producing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that's all.
Why do you think that?
Well, I don't know if anything was cut today, but everything just runs so smoothly. He plans, everything. I told him, I don't know if I can go on this live shot because I don't have permission to go, past the gate. And he goes, well, you let me know by this time, and otherwise we're going to do X, Y, and Z. So he already knew what we were going to do. On Tuesday, he didn't have to cut a single thing except the weather tees. I mean, that's huge, He's just really good, and he checks on everybody.
Well, he tried to cut today. He just forgot to tell anybody.
Saying, hey, like, I need this, send it to me, or else, like, it doesn't feel bad because we're all friends and we know he has a show to do, so he's good at that.
He's not going to smash your finger with the bowling ball or anything next time.
Before we go, Ashley had a good stand-up.
Yeah.
All right. That is our Thursday night post show. Everybody have a good night.
Let me say one thing about Ash's stand-up, okay?